Oh, I'm gonna sit on my hair. Hello, hello. Anybody out there? Please like. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. All right. So my biopsies. I'm a little curious about this. I had 2 different biopsies. I did 2 different surgeons. I had this lump removed, and he was real nice. I mean, he explained everything to me, and of course I was conscious for that one, and he just locally sedated. And he's like, just real thoughtful, real talkative. He explained every little thing that he was doing. He even said that he'll make sure that he puts the stitches in the crease, so this smaller scar. And then afterwards, he's like, explained me that they're sending it off for biopsy, and they'll call me and all sorts of stuff. So then I have a different doctor, and he's doing this endoscopy, colonoscopy. And I thought I had, issue with my stomach. I really didn't expect anything with my colonoscopy. I went ahead, because they wanted to do both, I went ahead and let them. But of all things, my esophagus. So that when I woke up, they just did conscious, they call it conscious station. Anyway, so basically I was asleep when he said that they had done some biopsies. But I don't know why. I don't know what kind of biopsy they did. Did they scrape something? Did they cut something? Did they take a chunk of something? I don't know what they did. They just said they did biopsies and that they'll contact me. And I don't know why. Like, what was wrong? Anyway, so there's something wrong with my esophagus. All things. I did not even have an esophagus anywhere near my conscious mind if there would be an issue. I thought there would be anything. It would be my stomach, which I don't know if there's anything wrong with my stomach. They didn't say. The only thing they said that was normal was my colonoscopy was normal. So anyways, I just have to wait and see. And I'm just like completely in the dark on what the issue is. I have no idea. Is it cancer? What kind of cancer do they suspect? What kind of condition? If it's not cancer, could it possibly be? I have no idea. So I don't know. But I'm glad that I was able to get that procedure done. And I had to wrangle because when this ER doctor, she was like, this lump here, if that's a lymph node, that could be serious. You need to get endoscopy, all this sort of stuff. And they tried to deny me getting an endoscopy. They're trying to just get me cross me. I said, no, she said endoscopy. It's in the notes right there. So I had to wrangle with them over that. And I knew there wasn't anything with colonoscopy. I didn't think there was an immediate issue there, and there wasn't. So, but there was something going on here. I'm just thankful that I got the test ordered because it was an ordeal just to get it ordered. Anyways, I don't have any idea what kind of biopsy they did or why. I don't know. Anyways, they'll let me know, I guess, when it comes back, whenever that is. Meanwhile, it's Christmas time, and my dog back there. I don't know. I'm wanting to hear from people like, do a Christmas bingo or something. So, anyways, if you're interested, let me know. Just drop 5 numbers, 1 through 75. You don't have to give me the letters, and I'll do maybe a bingo. Are you gonna eat these? These are so good. They're called peanut butter filled pretzel nuggets. It's a good little protein snack. Not too high in sodium. No. But I love peanut butter. And I love crunchy food. it funny how some people really just like crunchy food? Like, what is that, right? I love crunchy food. I always have. Anyways, so I'm gonna get off here. I just want to say hi and just give update on that and ask for prayer for that. Um, and another thing that I need prayer for is last night when, well, actually, it was yesterday when I came back from the hospital. My fucker. Putting things in the road, trying to interfere with my medical driver getting me to my home. So this road, that is public road, the so I had parked my car down the road at my rental property. So when the medical driver, whenever they, you're required a driver whenever they're gonna drug you up, they want you to have a driver. So I had a driver bring me home, and um the VA contracts them, and so I didn't want the driver coming up the road in the event that something stupid happened. So I parked my car down the road at my rental property. And when I came back, of course, I had to be brought home. That was required. So, of course, I had to get out of the car and remove the stuff from the road that he put in the road, just to be a nuisance. And then later, after I'd rested up, I went down the road. It was almost dark by then. I went down the road and I got my car. And brought it up, and he come out there and put something in the road again. So I get out of the road, remove it from the road, and he comes out there taking pictures of me. He's approaching me. I mean, just crazy, And I'm thinking, he's scheming. One of these deputies at the sheriff department is scheming with this man, or he wouldn't be doing this, right? So I get startled because I'm like, I'm gonna get on the other side of my car because I couldn't tell if he had his gun on him or not, and I'm not armed. So I get on the other side of my car. He backs up. Well, my car door's shut, and so my keys are running in my car. Now I'm in the middle of the road with my car, and I'm trapped on this road with this crazy man. And so I just go up into my driveway, into my property, call the law. Thankfully, I have my phone on me, and say, I need a deputy out here. This guy's out here acting crazy. My car's trapped in the road, and a tow truck ain't even be able to get up here to get me unlocked because I want roadside assistance. Plus, I needed my car hauled from my residence to get out to the mechanic shop. And so thankfully, thank you, Lord Jesus, this deputy comes out and he makes him move his truck so the tow truck driver can get up here. And he's out there screaming at him and carrying on, and he's telling him what he's doing the wrong stuff. Well, I had talked to the DA last Friday, who told me he was going to get with the sergeant about sending reports without original files of the evidence. Okay, that everything's supposed to be resubmitted. Well, this guy is not complying. He's not called me to let me do anything. And worse yet, now he's mad because I then went to the DA and I found out from the DA that this guy lied. He didn't give him all the evidence. I'm like, oh man, this guy is bad news. So I call and speak to this sergeant today because I'm like, I wonder how he's acting today, right? And he tells me, let me tell you what he did. He tried to say that this road that's been argued in 2 federal courts in 2 federal cases is a public road, according to the county commissioner and the Department of Transportation of Oklahoma General Counsel said, and I've got the briefs, that is a public road. Now he's trying to say it's a private road so that he can take the road from the public. This is the extent that they will go to try to protect this man who, because of what he did, was a crime by obstructing traffic and harassing me and violating the protective order by once again doing the same acts that this judge had said is stalking. You can't restrict access to my home. You can't make changes to a public road. You can't do these things. It's illegal. It's unlawful. It's a violation of statutes. So now he's trying to protect him. This sergeant is going so out of his way to try to protect this man. I mean, he's, oh my gosh. So I just really need prayer. It's just evil. It's just demonic spirits working through people who are in authority. And God, I pray for movement, and I want that man out of power. These people who know that they're doing evil, they know that's like, sometimes officers, they just make errors. Nobody's perfect. Okay. You can't expect perfection because they're not gods. They make errors. You got to give them room for that. Right. But when they know what they're doing, they know that they have the power and think that they can just do these things because nobody's going to hold them accountable. That's a wicked force that we have to stand up against and pray that power out of power. We've got to stand up against it. That's our duty, And if you're not a believer, stand up against evil, stand up against forces, whatever reason, because it's wrong to let them continue to be evil against people. And officers and the blue force, it's like this deputy comes out, and he's trying to do the right thing, right? And he even tells me that, he says, it does seem like things are escalating. He sees how this guy that's out there acting. He sees how he's just got this rage and hatred, and he's just harassing me. He sees it, like the scales are off of his eyes, right? And he comes to me and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna do a report." And he says, I'm gonna get with him because this seemed like it escalated. We could put cameras out here because my camera was destroyed when my house was broken into. There's a camera out there, and it was disabled. It was destroyed, and that's the one that covered my house. And so he's like, we can put cameras out here. And I said, I don't have any problem with that. You can use my property and put as many cameras as you want to, you know. Um, but then the sergeant that's over him sabotages any ability to stop what this man is doing to the community by lying and saying that this road that the county and the state declared as public is now private. So he can come out here and he's trying to set up a situation where this guy can come out here and say that I'm trespassing and claim the road as his property. I mean, he's trying to set up a situation for that man. So, oh my gosh, now I have to take him to court. And it's just like, okay, you know. And so I still have the case in court to find this guy in contempt of stalking order. And I filed something again today because this guy's lawyer tried to ask to dismiss my request for an order for a judge who didn't have a hearing to decide what stalking. What he did is he had a hearing to decide whether or not the county can issue an order that mirrors the tribal court's order so that there's or an order in the court. And that was what the court ruled. He said, as a matter of law and as a matter of right, this court orders granting the order mirroring the tribal judge's uh, order. And so, in across the board, any order of protection is got a no contact. And so this defendant's lawyer is going to my court and asking the judge to order that he can do everything that this judge said was a stalking. So I need prayer. I'm begging you, please, please, please pray that this judge will grant this order, but that God will put in his heart to write an order and stand up against these judges. They're all caught in the politics. You got local sheriffs, you got DAs, and these judges, they all work, they're the law enforcement authority of the community. You got the courts, you got the DA, you got the police force. Okay. And so these judges have to stand up against crooked forces. And if you remember, I did a video about a local judge who he kind of had odds with the local law enforcement, and there was some politics and corruption there. And he had kind of let it slip that he had an kind of a feelings about the force. They tried to remove that judge from the bench. This cop was targeting him, and he was speaking to him so disrespectfully, and acting like he was crazy. And they really wanted to get this judge off the bench. And I read that whole case and I reviewed that whole thing. And I was so thankful that they did not remove that judge from the bench, because that was a judge he did have probably his own personal issues, but he was not going to go along with local corruption, and that was his deal, and they wanted him out. So we have to pray for these judges that are in positions when they're facing having to deal with crooked cops. They got to be their own man. They got to be a man of God who will not go along with crooked forces. And so I feel like this judge has kind of tried to be that person. But over time, these pressures in their face, they can stopping in these judge and trying to manipulate and a judge. And I just pray for God to be in that judge's heart and in that judge's soul and mind to really see what these deputies and these law enforcement are doing, that this trying to overthrow the Bible legislation. And this guy who's a lawyer for this, my stalker, used to be a municipal judge in this same court, and he was ran out by the people because he threw a man in jail whose little bitty tiny toddler daughter was raped. Okay. And they tried to make this toddler testify, even though there was evidence that you didn't need her testimony, that this child was raped. You don't need the testimony of a baby. There's baby that's sexually abused, and they prosecute them, and they don't need their testimony. Other kinds of evidence proves what happened. But this judge that was a judge is now a lawyer. He's just gross. He would not allow prosecution of that man because that baby was too young to testify. And yet he would allow for a different type of charge like lewdness. I'm like, how are you going to get from one charge if you don't have the testimony, but not this charge with the testimony? It was total bonkers. And I mean, it was outrage of the community, and they wanted him out. I mean, they were hot. And I mean, like, they was not going to let this man remain on the bench. So this guy resigned. Thank you, Lord. This judge resigned. So this is the guy, this former judge is the guy who is the lawyer for my stalker. And one of the judges of the community, I try to like speak up for him, like, well, he was a good judge. I'm sorry. No, he wasn't. He threw a man in jail for a year who was the father of a baby who had been raped. He held the guy in contempt because he was upset because he dismissed the charges of the rapist of the baby, because she couldn't testify. Like, it requires testimony of a baby. You know how many babies are raped that they put the abuser in jail and in prison? This guy tried to change the law. This is the guy who's practicing law, who shouldn't be practicing law, because he's going into court saying all kinds of lies and making all kinds of crazy demands and advising my stalker that he can violate the protective order, which is unethical. Please pray, because I have to send things to the Bar Association, get things to the Attorney General. I'm still working with the congressman, and I'm begging you that this judge will order that he is going to uphold what the tribal court found and ruled is stalking, and that he's going to set a trial date and closely to now and issue the order that I requested, and that is that to declare that he cannot demand to violate what that tribal judge said is stalking. I'm begging you for that. I desperately need that. And I also need prayer that this sergeant who's trying to say that this road is private may cease and desist doing that immediately. Help me get back to the DA. Hello, Alfonso. Yeah. Hello, everybody from Alfonso in Colorado. So yeah, I was just, doing this video. Of course, I'm going to talk about this talking because I desperately need prayer. But so I had this biopsy endoscopy. Colonoscopy was fine. Endoscopy, they said they did some biopsies, and I didn't know they were going to do biopsies. I thought they were just going to look around. But I'm not mad or anything that they was doing biopsies. I mean, I didn't know that was a part of it, that they just do biopsies, because I've never had endoscopy before, and I didn't know that they do biopsies when they do those procedures. But anyways, they do. So apparently they did some biopsies in my esophagus, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know what kind of condition they suspect. Is it cancer? What kind of cancer? What kind of conditions do they do biopsies for esophagus? How long does it take? What kind of biopsy did they do? Did they cut it? Did they scrape it? Did they take a chunk out? Do I have stitches inside? I have no idea because I don't even know. They didn't tell me anything. They just said, well, we did some biopsies and we'll let you know. Let me know what. Anyways, yeah. So prayers, I don't even know what kind of conditions you can get with an esophagus. It's like such an unknown organ, that I never even think about my esophagus. Like we take so many things of our body for granted. There's so many parts in our body, that anyways, I had no idea. That one kind of took me for a loop. I thought I had an issue with my stomach because I have stomach pain, and I guess esophagus issues can cause stomach pain. I don't know. I had to research it because I'm like, what kind of conditions with your esophagus can you have that they need to do biopsies? But I had no idea that that one kind of surprised me. And they didn't say anything about my stomach, so I don't know if my stomach was okay. I have no idea. But I haven't got the report yet. But um, yeah, so something apparently is wrong with my esophagus. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just something minor, and they just wanted to be on the safe side and did a biopsy. I don't know because they didn't tell me. you know, I think it would have been better for them just like the one doctor when he took this lump out. He was very thorough. Talked about everything. He was very, very talkative. And this other guy, he was just kind of sat in the room after he collected the data from me, he just kind of left and, he just kind of sat there. Didn't say anything, didn't talk, just waited for the nurse and the other person giving me the drugs to do their thing and no conversation. And when I woke up, he wasn't even there. It just, yeah, we did some biopsies of your esophagus and we'll let you know. Your colonoscopy is okay. I guess I didn't ask about my stomach. I guess I should have. But anyways, I didn't know. So, has anybody ever had any issue with their esophagus? Like, um, anyways, I think I did watch a video about one biopsy of the esophagus, and they have these little teeny tiny scissors, and they just cut a part of it or whatever, snip it. But I don't know, there might be different types of biopsies, and I don't know what type they did. So, anywho's, that's it for this one. I won't be on here all night. My dog's getting mad at me. So I kind of have to keep them separate from other girls. I've got two girls outside right now. They're out there wandering, and they're about ready to come in. Um, yeah, Alfonso, I listen to your music all the time. All the time. Y'all go check out Alfonso Cemento's channel. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention one thing. So I found this channel on YouTube today, and man, it was absolutely fascinating. I was going through the shorts, and I saw this guy. They call him the Dog Daddy. If you've not heard of the Dog Daddy, go to his channel because it's amazing. And as a director of an animal rescue organization for years now, I'm going to tell you what right now, aggressive dogs that are super, super aggressive and dangerous aggressive, there are very, very, very few people who do rescue of these types of dogs to prevent them from being euthanized because, they're obviously a danger to society. They're a danger to the public. But they deserve a second chance. They deserve ability to be rehabilitated, but people give up on those dogs and they get euthanized. I mean, pretty systematically. So this guy is known. He travels all over the cities, all over the country. And I mean, you just have to see his video, how he works with these dogs and just does magic on them. I mean, we're talking dogs. Of course, they got a muzzle on the dog, but they're jumping all over the place. And this guy's kind of thin. But I mean, just the control that he has is amazing. And you think there's no way this dog is acting like a bull coming out, raging, bucking a cowboy off within 8 seconds, okay? And this dog is wanting to tear his head off. And of course, it's got a muzzle, but he just works with them And then before it's over, that dog is doing commands of this man. And so he does training of different people, animal control officers, rescues, people that train to rehabilitate these aggressive dogs that are rehabilitatable. And so I've never seen him before. He's been around for a while, and I really think that like, you've heard the dog whisperer guy, that he has like a TV show and all that. This guy called the Dog Daddy, he's pretty amazing. And there was some troll that was like trying to say that he was doing things that was like harmful to the dog. No, man. When you see these dogs coming out like bulls, that, and if you worked in animal rescue, I sentence everybody who is against his methods to 1,000 euthanizations of dogs. Go watch 1,000 dogs be euthanized because they're aggressive and people gave up on them. Okay, and you watch 1,000 dogs being euthanized, and then you go and you watch this man do miracles with dogs like that. But we need people like that, more people trained with his methods to help these rescues. Please go support his channel, or go watch him, and share what he does. If you're somebody who is in animal rescue, we need more people to. I know that a lot of people are like, well, a lot of times dogs that are super aggressive or fearful, they're very afraid. Okay, but a lot of those fears, needs to be overcome. And the methods he does is not going to harm them psychologically. It brings them unto the true alpha submission. And a lot of times dogs need that control to make them in submission, the alpha submission. That's how God created dogs, and so these dogs don't have an alpha. And so they're just like wild. And there's a lot of dogs and breeds that they need this pecking order. They literally need a pecking order. There's a lot of breeds that are pretty docile. They don't really need the pecking order. They kind of just all get along. And then there are breeds that pecking order is their livelihood. That's how they survive. That's their instincts. That's what they are. That's just, there's no way around it. And if a human being doesn't give them that pecking order of being the proper alpha, it causes chaos. And they don't do it intentionally. Or sometimes they have fears or aggression for other reasons, but it can get rehabilitated and put into control. And this guy just, I've never seen anything like it. And I've watched all kinds of dog training types of different things, and it's a gift. I really do think it's a gift. I mean, he just has just see this guy and this dog that's strong as literally a horse, and you think, man, he's gonna knock that guy off his feet. And you just think this thin, slender dude has a lot of strength. You think like the big buff guys, or the strong guys. This guy who's slender, man, he is handling this dog like he is a rock iron. I'm like, you gotta go check his videos out, called the Dog Daddy. And anyways, I was just really impressed with his methods. I mean, it's sad in a way to watch because you see dogs that could have been abused, or for whatever reason they're fearful, they're aggressive, not just because they're vicious, but just because there's something wrong. And he just works magic with them, and it's just amazing. I know some of them might be edited where it might be more time, but I mean, he wrestles with them and he gets them under control. Like, it's just amazing. Now, I do think that sometimes when a handler is handling the dog is submissive to them, to that person. Once that dog figures it out that, okay, he's lost the battle, the dog has lost the battle, he's under. That's what animals do. They have this pecking order war, and they fight with each other and they wrestle until one submits, or one gives up, or one beats the other. When one way or another, one wins. Or sometimes I guess it's a standoff and neither wins. But generally with dogs, there's a pecking order, and sometimes there's a battle for it. So this human to dog battle that he does, he wins. So when the dog, he's able to take the muzzle off, I'm just, I don't know if that same control is going to be given and passed off on to the owner. He teaches the owners to have that same control. Kind of like what was that, the dog whisperer guy, whatever. I can't remember what he was called. This little Hispanic guy. I remember he has a TV show. Anyways, but he teaches him. He teaches the owners. So it's up to the owners that they have to maintain that alpha. And people treating animals, certain breeds, you know, um, like they're humans or they're just too affectionate with them, and you don't just like, you have to maintain that alpha with them. And it's like little bitty dogs, you carry them, and then they just become this territorial little mad crazy dog, and then they just go along with it, and they don't think that that's not healthy for that dog, to be fearful of any person coming to their human because they're holding this little dog and they think it's cute when somebody's snapping at them when they come near them, but that's not healthy for that dog. That's an anxiety within that dog of other humans, and that's not healthy. Dogs have the need and the right and the responsibility of the owner to make them sociable. They need to be, all dogs should be sociable to other humans, and it should never be allowed for them to be snapping at anybody. That's not cute, but a lot of people do that. But anyway, so there's this guy called Dog Daddy. Just I'm trying to shout out his channel because, I think it's important for people who care about animals. So anyways, on my biopsy thing, I have no idea what's wrong with my esophagus, and when the reports will be back or whatever. But I'm hoping and praying by Christmas, but I don't know. Uh, I don't know like where they have to send it off to, because I was reading a report. It said it could take a few weeks for them to get the reports back. I'm like, really? That was kind of off, but I don't know. Hoping it won't be that long. I'd like to have some good news by Christmas that, everything's negative. That would be nice. But if not, well, it is what it is, and your prayers are appreciated. And I'm going to get off here, and I hope you have a blessed day. And thank you so much for stopping in. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please like this video, kind of help me get some, visibility. Comment below, and on my channel, all my videos, the comments are held for approval, so that way nobody's spamming my people, which there has been trolls. They spam, they scam, and all kinds of stuff. And so I attend to it every day, check the comments and make sure everybody gets approved. So I just don't freak out if you do comment on any of my videos and you don't see your comment. YouTube's not deleting it. It's just held for approval, and I promise you I will get to it. Okay, so I will see y'all again soon. Bye.